World of Africa on WION The World is one. This week, our focus is on the West African powerhouse of Nigeria. The United States hit Nigeria's northwest Sokoto state on Christmas Day in jointly coordinated strikes against Islamic State militants, the first direct action by Washington in the country. Going forward, the United States will provide intelligence from aerial reconnaissance flights to aid Nigerian airstrikes. Welcome to the program. More than 250 students and staff were abducted last November at the height of the diplomatic dispute between Abuja and Washington over Trump's rhetoric. Nigeria and the United States have largely reconciled. U.S. military efforts in the wider Sahel have failed to halt jihadist insurgency across Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali, although the security situation has deteriorated since the United States and French troops left the region. Can the U.S. halt jihadist violence in Nigeria? Our correspondent, Louisa Olani, filed this report.
Just over a week after the United States launched strikes targeting militants in Nigeria on Christmas Day, a roadside bomb ripped through an armored troop carrier, killing at least 8 Nigerian soldiers. Then, days ahead of a high-profile US-Nigeria security meeting in Abuja last week, armed gangs kidnapped more than 170 churchgoers in Nigeria's northern Kaduna state. Elsewhere, a suicide bomber hit a military convoy, killing half a dozen troops. Violence has continued unabated despite US President Donald Trump's stated goal of stemming the alleged mass killing of Christians in Africa's most populous nation.
They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Security analysts say this is unsurprising. The US military under the Trump administration is increasing material deliveries and intelligence sharing with Nigeria as part of a broader American push to work with African militaries to go after Islamic State-linked militants.
It was things that had already been agreed upon, but again, we're trying to accelerate to the Nigerians.
But questions linger over why America bypassed the Economic Community of West African Countries, ECOWAS, and opted to seek assistance of the Alliance of Sahel States, which has become a rival of ECOWAS in the region.
We still collaborate. We have actually shared information with some of them to attack key terrorist targets, but it's very different than it was even 2 or 3 years ago. We were trying to work with them to assuage them that we have intentions to help them, but there's obviously other competitors that are whispering in their ear, telling them mis and disinformation about our intentions. So we're breaking through that network.
Going forward, the United States will provide intelligence from aerial reconnaissance flights to aid Nigerian airstrikes. How much of a game changer that will be remains to be seen. US support since Nigeria's 2009 jihadist uprising has not stopped the bloodshed. Neither the US nor Nigeria has released details of how many militants were killed in the Christmas Day strikes.
We also welcome the US commitment to timely delivery of outstanding articles of war, such as drones, helicopters, platforms, spare parts, and associated support systems procured over the past 5 years, as well as its readiness to support Nigeria through the provision of surplus defense equipment. Importantly, this cooperation has been conducted with respect for Nigeria's sovereignty. Thank you.
I'm here today to continue and broaden that partnership. And the partnership the United States has with Nigeria is built on shared interests in many areas, including trade and investment, security, energy, regional security, and much, much more.
Both militaries seem keen on the increased collaboration, even if diplomats are clashing over Trump's rhetoric, alleging the violence amounts to the genocide or persecution of Christians. Independent analysts reject that, saying the overlapping security crises claim the lives of both Muslims and Christians, often without distinction.
In a continued push to weaken ISIS-linked groups across Africa, the United States says it is strengthening cooperation with Nigeria while maintaining communication with the militaries in junta-led Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. AFRICOM's Deputy Commander General John Brennan told the AFP that the focus remains intelligence sharing, counter-terror training, and preventing militant spillover across borders, despite strained diplomatic ties following recent coups in the Sahel. The U.S. insists the engagement is security-driven, aimed at protecting civilians and supporting regional stability, as extremist groups continue to exploit porous borders and political uncertainty. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olani, WION The World.
Uganda's political future appears increasingly unstable, characterized by intensified authoritarianism, a heavily flawed 2026 electoral process, and as of early 2026, a reliance on coercion, violence, and opposition suppression. Incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, in power since 1986, continues to tighten control, sparking concerns over a potential crisis during the nation's transition. There is an uneasy calm in Uganda. The landlocked East African country is still unsettled after the longest-serving president, Yoweri Museveni, was re-elected in this year's polls.
I congratulate the people of Uganda. I ask the confused people to come back to sanity, because what they are planning, what they wanted to do, we already know, and we have already mobilized together with the people.
As 81-year-old Museveni starts a seventh term, his staff-talking son and head of the military, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is favorite to succeed him after consolidating his power base and sidelining critics. Kainerugaba, best known to many Ugandans for his fiery social media posts, helped his father to election victory by ordering a crackdown on opponents and cutting the internet, this according to sources familiar with the matter. Having repeatedly threatened to kill opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, known as Bobi Wine, who says the vote was rigged and is in hiding. Kainerugaba, who attended Britain's prestigious Sandhurst Military Academy and is an admirer of Mao Zedong and Fidel Castro, first announced in 2023 that he wanted to be president after his father, saying he was tired of waiting forever. Since then, he has sidelined critics within the ruling party and the military, retiring rival officers and boosting pay to secure soldiers' loyalty. Though Kainerugaba's presidential ambitions have previously sparked concern in Museveni's inner circle, his role in securing the election victory has strengthened his position, the security official and business sources have indicated. A handover from father to son would not be without risks of a backlash in the East African country, which has a $65 billion economy and enjoys decades of stability under Museveni.
He's very calm and quiet. He will listen and take notes from everybody. So he gives everybody a chance.
But I think that it's quite safe for somebody to conclude that there would be people within the military who do not feel happy about General Muhoozi's behavior, because the laws of this country prohibit serving military officers from engaging in partisan politics. And both before and after he became the commander of the military, he has been quite rampant, if I may put it that way, in expressing controversial political views, either expressing interest in the presidency for himself, or praising his father, or insulting his father's rivals.
Kainerugaba sparked alarm after posting a series of messages on social media appearing to threaten opposition supporters following disputed elections. Rights groups say the remarks were deeply concerning. Amnesty International says the posts appeared to amount to an admission of extrajudicial killings and reflected a broader pattern of abuses following the vote.
At the moment after the elections, when we see many people have now become so fearful, and for the threat to come from the Chief of Defense Forces, it's a much bigger concern.
Uganda has seen a heavy security presence since Election Day on January 15th, alongside internet restrictions and the suspension of several civil society groups, further fueling fears of shrinking political space in the country. Africa Bureau, WION World is One. A small group of amputees and war wounded were among visitors at Freetown's Peace Museum as Sierra Leone marked the first National Day of Remembrance on January 18th for the victims of a civil war that lasted more than a decade and killed thousands between 1991 and 2002.
Early January 18th, 2026, a small group of amputees and war wounded gathered at Freetown's Peace Museum to pay tribute to those who lost their lives during the conflict. Dressed in white and wearing white ribbons, they laid wreaths on symbolic graves following prayers and observation of a minute's silence. The war, which left many thousands wounded and maimed on top of the dead, lasted 10 years and officially ended on January 18, 2002. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, established in the country to investigate responsibility for the atrocities committed during the conflict, recommended that the government dedicate a day to the memory of those who died. President Julius Maada Bio addressed to the nation.
In this first National Day of Remembrance, I ask for forgiveness on behalf of our nation and on behalf of our leaders, past and present. We cannot undo what was done, but we can face it with humility, honesty, and courage.
The leader, who became president in 2018, was initially a soldier during the conflict and then a member of the junta which was in power during that period. He further urged Sierra Leoneans to weigh their words carefully, especially those active on social media.
To every victim and every survivor, I cannot ask you to forget. I ask only that in your own time and in your own way, our nation may find the grace to heal fully, restore dignity, and move forward together.
During the 1990s, Sierra Leone was a synonym for violence, with a major war ravaging the country. It has since seen an increase in public safety and security. The Civil War, which began on 23rd of March 1991, when the Revolutionary United Front under Foday Sanko, with the support of Liberian rebel leader Charles Taylor, attempted to overthrow the government of then-President Joseph Saidu Momo, claimed the lives of between 50,000 and 120,000 people, while at least 70,000 were injured and over 2.5 million displaced. By far one of the bloodiest conflicts in Africa, the Sierra Leone Civil War was a global byword for savagery. By the time it ended in 2002, the conflict had left the country with almost no public infrastructure. Multiple factors, including the impact of the 2014 Ebola crisis, COVID-19, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, have combined with elite corruption to stall the post-conflict economic development. Sadly, this is only a repeat of the polarization in Sierra Leonean society that preceded the outbreak of civil war decades ago. This polarization, as well as the unrestrained greed, corruption, and bad governance of successive regimes formed by both parties from 1961 onwards, is often cited as the principal cause of the civil war. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
iShowSpeed's 28-day, 20-country 2026 Africa tour challenged long-standing negative stereotypes by broadcasting the continent's vibrant culture, modern infrastructure, and warm hospitality directly to millions of viewers. His real-time, unfiltered streams showcased bustling cities, high-speed internet, and energetic, welcoming communities, actively dispelling outdated myths of poverty and danger.
Hey, Habibi! Welcome to the SB, my brother!
Born in Cincinnati as Darren Jason Watkins Jr., the YouTube star, popularly known as Speed, began gaining traction. 10 years ago, first by publishing video game content and later by posting about his travels around the world. His African tour is destroying long-held stereotypes. The American content creator and streamer, Speed, just completed his tour of Africa. Before he landed, many people outside the continent made comments such as, "Speed will get robbed," "Africa has no Wi-Fi," and "Africans live in huts." However, when Speed arrived in Africa, the reality was completely different. He experienced the African hospitality we are known for. He didn't feel like an outsider or just an American visitor. He felt like one with the people. Through his live streams and the warm reception he received, many long-held stereotypes about Africa have been confronted. The narrative began to shift, with comments changing to, "I didn't know African people are this welcoming," and "I didn't know Africa was this beautiful."
iShowSpeed is showing culture, it's showing relationship, it's showing it's showing cultural difference, it's showing food, it's showing difference, it's showing the difference, and it's showing the unique part of Africans. Like, he wants the American guys to see Africa as a place they can also come to, not just seeing Africa like the way they have projected Africa in a very, very long time.
The impact of this African tour, that we can see lots of creators outside of Nigeria have changed their views and their ideas of what they thought Africa was like because of Speed's tour. So I would say it's had a very great impact on showing the culture, the beautiful side of Africa, the side that the media would not show you.
The YouTube and Twitch Stars tour kicked off on December 29th, 2025, traveling through some 20 countries across Africa and drawing crowds at every stop. Rolling Stone magazine named him the most influential creator of 2025, while Forbes estimates his net worth at $20 million.
Speed's tour shows a lot of things, especially here in Africa. It reveals Africa. It shows what Africa is populated with, the wealth of Africa, and many Americans did not know how developed Africa was, so it opened the eyes of the American people, and that makes us happy.
Actually, there is something he brings back, and that is smiles and joy, and he does it with a certain passion. So I think that's really what attracts people. But I also think he works with his team. They produce quality content, and that's it. He's in Benin. I think it's to continue that too and promote Africa.
His Africa tour has featured a race against a cheetah in South Africa, a football match with 100 children in Angola, a visit to Kenya's Maasai, and the AFCON final in Morocco. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
Once an illegal logger in Nigeria's Okomu forest, James Bekele now leads patrols against the hunters and loggers threatening one of the country's last remaining tropical rainforests, home to endangered species such as forest elephants and pangolins. Here's his transformation story.
James Lelegal Bekele knows the Okomu forest well. He used to make a living illegally logging trees in the Nigerian National Park. Now, Bekele is on the other side of the law, working as a ranger, tracking down hunters and loggers in the sprawling reserve. In some ways, a repentant logger like 26-year-old Bekele is the ideal type of ranger. National parks in Africa's most populous country face a slew of difficulties, many of them stemming from people having few job opportunities.
Though I was a logger before, yes, I do log with some of my colleagues. Yeah, so we do go into the forest, cut down logs, and take them to Lagos just to have money.
By recruiting former poachers and loggers, Africa Nature Investors, an NGO charged by Nigeria's National Park Service with managing Okomu, hopes to ease the economic pressures that eat away at Nigeria's nature reserves. It's a difficult task. Nigeria has lost 96% of its original forest cover, according to the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. Outside of protected areas, palm oil plantations are a major source of deforestation. Edo State, home to Okomu Forest, is the country's top palm oil producer. Before Ani's takeover in 2022, dozens of trucks filled with illegal timber were sneaking out of the 59,300-acre Okomu Reserve every day.
The approach we have used, which we continue to use, is engagement with these people. Engagement with local communities and people who are involved in logging to begin to see the need for this. The economic aspect is women and young people are the target people of our project.
But if the buzz of chainsaws has, at least partially, given way to birdsong and chatter from monkeys, challenges remain. Some 300 young people showed up when Ani came to recruit rangers. They employ only about 30. Ani has set up microfinance programs in partnership with the microcredit company Roshan Renewables in several villages on the edge of the park to combat unemployment and poverty. Savings groups help pool money, which can then be used in addition to zero-interest loans for community projects.
And since Ani came, some of the benefits we have achieved so far, one, employment, like I've said, because they always recruit. They are even planning to recruit more by this month. Then they came up with this idea of SLG, this cooperative something. I believe this is the highest level of empowerment we have gotten from them.
Fellow rangers now educate their peers on the value of preserving the park's wildlife. In 2 years, Ani's rangers have made some 200 arrests, a number that's trending downward. Africa Bureau, WION World is One.
And that is what is creating a buzz in Africa this week. Get in touch with us on YouTube, our website, and all our social media platforms, and share your story from the continent with us. We would like to hear from you and highlight it to the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. I'm Eric Njoka. Goodbye.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the